Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This video is part of a series on automating the deployment of a .NET application. Today I will be introducing CloudFormation, and by the end of this video you will understand the essence of CloudFormation and the basics of writing a CloudFormation template for a .NET application. Let's get straight to it.
This is a .NET application which uses the Lambda project template. I already have this in Azure DevOps. Quickly, I'll run this project so we can see what we plan to deploy. So you need to go to your terminal and you need to be in the folder where you have your project file. My project file is in UK Skilled SRC, so I'm going to do .NET run in this folder. And that gives me a URL. I'm just going to click on that URL. So that loads the project. As you see, this is a working .NET application. And so this is the application we'll be automating its deployment. Quickly, I'll close this application now. This project already has a CloudFormation template, so I'll be walking you through the various sections of the CloudFormation template before we deploy via the command line. Later in this series, we'll be deploying this template via the pipeline, which all sort of makes it automated. So as a prerequisite to this section, you need to understand the basics of YAML, have some basic AWS knowledge. I'll provide a link in the description that covers the basics of YAML. So I'll open my CloudFormation templates. So this is an existing CloudFormation template that we want to use to deploy the .NET application. In this template, I have 4 sections. The first section here is version. This basically tells CloudFormation how to process its templates. And at the time of making this video, this is the primary version you need to use. The second section here is transform. And this tells CloudFormation that we are using AWS SAM, which is a simplified version of CloudFormation for serverless applications. And at the time of making this video, this is the transform version you need to specify to tell CloudFormation that you are using SAM. The description section is just a description of what you are trying to do. So that's pretty generic in this case. I've got a resources section, which is the main section of this CloudFormation template. And in this resources section, I have declared, or I'm creating 2 resources. The first one is the API, and then the second one is the function. The API sits in front of the function and enables the request to be proxied to the function. And so let's have a look at the first resource I'm creating, which is a AWS Serverless API. Quickly, I'll go to my browser, and then you'll find I want to search this, and then you can go to the syntax section. In this API, we want to create the 2 main things I've specified for creating the API is the stage name. If you go here, you see stage name, and then I've specified a binary media type. And so quickly, let's go to stage name. The stage name, this is the name of the stage, which API gateway uses as the first part segment in the URI. So the stage name forms the URI that is eventually created by API gateway for you to access your resource. And another critical section here is that when you use AWS and you specify this stage name, actually what happens under the hood is that AWS SAM generates a REST, not only generates a REST API, but it also generates a stage because you've specified a stage name, and then generates a deployment which deploys to that stage. So just to be aware of that. And also you've got binary media types, which we looked at initially. So this is a list of MIME types that your API could return. And so because we want to return other media types such as images or videos, we are specifying this. So if we go back to this, see we've specified this. This basically tells CloudFormation we want to accept all media types, JSON, you know, JPEG or things like that. So we are creating a Lambda function, which is the AWS serverless function type. You can go to the AWS documentation and have a look at what required fields we have for this. But these are the fields that I've specified, and we will go through these fields or properties quickly. So the first property here is the handler, and this basically tells AWS Lambda what method it needs to invoke, which is sort of like the entry point for your application. And so because we're using the Lambda project template, I can show you what that looks like. So you've got this Lambda entry points class in here, and you need to go to the base class here. So you've got this Lambda entry point, and then this inherits from this class in here. So I'll go there. It also goes down to the abstract ASP.NET Core function. You need to go in there too. And then if you do a search, you will find the function handler method, which is the entry point of the application. This is all just templated, comes with the template, and what it does is it ensures that the request, when it enters through the entry point, is routed to the appropriate page or controller or whatever you have set up your Lambda project to process the request. And so let's go back there. For runtime, I've specified .NET 6. Obviously, by the time you have a look at this video, you might already have .NET 8 or things like that. But code URI, I've not specified any code URI because I've not uploaded to S3 yet. I've used some other configuration here for the memory size and the timeout. I have not specified any role. Well, I've specified a policy which will be attached to the default execution role for the Lambda. Also, I've specified 2 events here. And this first event basically tells CloudFormation to set up a trigger to my Lambda function using the root URL or the root path. And so any request that goes through API gateway via the root path will be routed to my Lambda resource. And also I also want to ensure that any other subpaths are also routed to my Lambda function. So if you've got like /users or /others or things like that, it also ensures all those requests are routed to my Lambda function. So this tool basically covers it. You'll find that I've also specified method any, which means that this can be either get, post, request. All the type of HTTP methods are also routed to my Lambda functions. And I've also, for each of these resources, I've specified that they are created for the API gateway, which we've already created here. And so you see ASP.NET Core API here. And so this basically creates 2 triggers based on that API gateway to ensure that my requests are routed to my Lambda function. Now we'll be deploying this application using the CloudFormation template. As I said earlier in this video, we'll be deploying this application using the command line. So I'll just paste in a command in here that we'll use. So we've got .NET Lambda deploy serverless, which helps us deploy this serverless application. In the command, I'll be passing a few arguments. So the stack is basically a logical isolation of all the resources we'll be deploying. And in this stack, we're deploying 2 resources we've gone through. And I'm naming that stack UK Scaled Automated. I'll be deploying this stack in the EU West 2 region, which is the London region. As we've seen earlier, there's a serverless.yaml file, which is what we've been talking about all through this video. And then we've got SB, which is the S3 bucket. I've created this S3 bucket in that same region. And so this is where um, AWS will package, where we'll package the deployment file and just upload it there, and then to be referenced by the CloudFormation template. And so I'm just going to run this now, and you see it does all the packaging, builds it, and then uploads to S3. And then now it starts deploying the CloudFormation stack. So you can see here it's creating a couple of resources. You've got the function role, by the way, you can also see this on the AWS Management Console. So if I refresh this, okay, yeah, it's already here. You see you have a couple of resources here already. And so it's created the API, it's created deployments. We talked about this. The function, the proxy resource, the role, and then the root resource. And so you just need to wait till this is completed. Yep, this is completed now. And so we've been able to successfully deploy our CloudFormation stack using all those with all those resources we've gone through. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to watch other videos in this series. Thank you.